Oh, they're so jazzy. So many cats.
You say that like you're surprised.
I think it's resignation at this point.
Is there any way I can actually compensate?
Oh,
Is there a roll I
probably.
can make?
Yeah, like if you make a, if he is being genuine, he could make a presence and persuasion roll, but only if he's actually like metagaming as genuine.
Sure.
If he plans on being deceptive, it's going to have to be in manipulation and subterfuge, which Aiden has a very good resist against.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's snack time.
Currently, so we haven't dealt with Belle, who has walked out after O'Malley,
Oh, okay.
because this may help Augustine
Okay.
get that.
Yeah, I'm helping, even though I don't. Well, no, she's intending to help. Never mind.
All right, so Balathine, what are you doing outside with your stompy angry boy?
Where does he go?
He just walks out the front door.
Okay, so normally where he would be standing if he was working?
hmm And he's just smoking a cigarette.
What's their normal dynamic? Are they just like the siblings that argue all the time and
Uh huh.
but they have their genuine moments?
Probably. That sounds about right.
Okay.
We haven't figured out their dynamic 100%, but we
Yeah,
can play it out and like see how it feels in character.
Yeah. I just don't want to like do something and your opinion
don't
of
have-
our normal dynamic is not what my
No.
opinion is. Okay.
I'll have him roll with whatever I feel is appropriate.
Okay. So she comes over and she does a quick evaluation. He does seem to be pissy.
I mean, he's just kind of doesn't want to do it and is being pissy in that way. Yes.
So she comes over and he's leaned back up against the wall.
hmm
She does the same, standing probably only like a few inches between their shoulders.
hmm
Does he bother you that badly?
The maquette always have. They're always in your head, playing games in the back. Nothing's ever as it seems. I wouldn't trust him with Kara with a 50-foot pole between them.
That's why I wanted you to go, you know.
You're right, but that makes me uncomfortable.
Well,
I don't think you understand this about me, but I understand my weaknesses. And an individual like him and an individual like me do not go well together.
you know I can't trade places with you because you can't go with Aiden to the Invictus. I don't know what to do.
Well,
It's going to be a moment of a trust there because she doesn't often admit that she's at a loss.
he just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Well, there's an easy solution to this. You don't do both at the same time. Prioritize. Which one's more important?
Gods, I can't even take all of us to Invictus. I'd have to have someone watch Kara.
What are you
Or-
hoping to? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Or one of them. I'm worried about how quickly an actual human that is not ghouled or thralled might be detected. Now, I'm uncomfortable with the thought of actually reining them in with Vitae, even though it would be the most convincing ruse.
So, I, as a DM, am going to come in for just a moment to shed a little bit of light here.
Okay.
Why is it that everybody wants to go to the Invictus? Like, what is the reasoning for going there in person?
The purpose was so that Aiden and Belle could use the status, a mutual status at least, that they have, to see, to mingle and kind of see who might have any information, even if it's academic.
Right. Then I think that this, as a DM, I need to just clear up a couple things. There's not always just like a place to meet the Invictus. there would be invites that go out when there are meetings or group get-togethers. There's not just like this constant single location where they're all hanging out.
Oh, I thought there was at least like a. I was pretty sure there was like a main office because Invictus especially is very, very structured like a corporation.
Right, and I'm sure that like there is a spot where business is done, but the mingling and stuff isn't going to be like you're not going to walk into an office building and just start mingling to get information. What you're wanting is more of like a party atmosphere setting where they're hosting an event. And you're right, they're running it like a corporation. Like they legitimately probably have corporate offices with people working telephones and email and running different businesses through there. And isn't just like this political platform where they're like having, get-togethers all the time. So being that the way it is with just, what you have stated, Bell probably, and this is probably a fault on my own for not bringing this up sooner once I finally realized exactly what the intention here was. Emails and phone calls will do the same thing. Will probably be the only way to go about this right now, unless you specifically want to go visit specific individuals at their residence, which you also probably wouldn't just show up for.
Is there any sort of company picnic equivalent coming up?
I am sure there is an event coming up, yes, but I doubt it is tonight.
Okay, so
I will say there is nothing going on tonight in the middle of a weekday. Like they are running their normal like business operations. There may be a place where you can go and visit a contact if you have one.
Aiden would be the one with it.
And Aiden, I do not think has a specific contact in New Orleans right now. He does not have any points in that as much as he has status. So he gets invites to the parties. But he does not have like one guy in Invictus that he would go and be like, hey, let's go show up at this dude's hotel and go talk to him.
Okay.
So that is probably something I should have pointed out beforehand, but now I have a better grasp of like what y'all are actually trying to do. There is no real place for y'all to just like show up for the Invictus right now. Like you could toss some emails like from your phone, start texting and tossing out emails to the proper channels to try and like generate some sort of meeting.
I like the company picnic one better because it's less direct. So you can mingle with a bunch of people and just make casual, innocuous conversation and have that come up rather than send a very pointed email where there's a lot less nuance involved. So can we at least like retcon to tweak that bit in there so she could be talking about an upcoming company picnic event?
Sure. So does that mean you're wanting to wait until that point to do anything?
I mean,
Because that, in the grand scheme of an investigation where time is of the essence, that doesn't seem like the best plan of attack. To just sit and wait around. But if that's your call, that's your call. I'm just trying to like add some more context for you.
does anyone have any opinions on this?
I mean, what Merlin says is fair. I do like the idea of going for a company picnic, but if there isn't anything like coming up soon as far as this particular evening, I mean, I'm fine with waiting necessarily, but if time is of the essence, right, that isn't maybe the best thing. But I don't know if everyone going together, right, to a single location, because if we don't know even where we're going, right, there's still like a bunch of different shops that we're potentially staking out, right, like that we need to go to. So like unless we go, hey, there's this one, hey, there's this one, hey, there's this one, right, it might be better to split up at least in pairs of some sort, right, to go cover more ground, right?
The only problem is Kara's the only one with the ability to suss out the superstitious.
Sure, not the superstitious, yeah, but I mean, I guess
Can you guys
Augustine
not?
could go.
Can vampires not spawn other vampires?
There is a mechanic for that, yes, but if the vampire's not in the room and it's just a ghoul, probably not. Now,
Yeah.
I also want to point out some other things because I know that like not everybody is used to the urban fantasy or investigation setting in
Mhm.
general. So you've currently we're gonna draw this back to you've still got two main like avenues of investigation. You have a location in a place where you know that the biker gang hangs out, and you've got the magic behind everything that you can investigate, and those kind of being the two tracks. If you want to consider the biker gang avenue, one of the things that y'all were concerned about was how do we deal with him? What if there's magic? You can go and stake those kinds of locations out and find out more information before even going in. Go in. Is he even there? Is he? If he is under some sort of control, is that kind of control related to the gang, or is that control mean that maybe he's not with the gang right now? If somebody else is controlling him, maybe the gang would have more.
Hatch, like the Wolf's Head Riders. Remember?
Yeah. So maybe the gang would have information on there. Another avenue for investigation of the voodoo shops is you've got a name. You could go and see if he has just shown up at any of these shops or if he frequents any of them by just asking. Hey, we're looking for our buddy. Have you seen him around? He likes to frequent these kinds of shops, and that is another way to go about it. So if you choose which avenue you want, I think from a efficiency and like storyline perspective, picking one of those as a group and dealing with it however you choose to will be the best.
So basically, we can't use Invictus because there's no good way to do that.
So like you can start the chain of events to gain a meeting in Invictus or a event set up. But currently there's not just like a place you can go and get answers. Even if you did have somebody to go to, they would then have to go out and get the answers for you. But because you don't have any merits in contacts or anything, you're essentially just stuck to the general Invictus gatherings until you find or meet somebody and you put points into them as a contact.
Does Aiden have any of those?
He does not have any contacts right now. He just has status, so he gets invitations to good, like, get-togethers, good meetings.
Let's do a stakeout. That sounds like fun.
Stakeouts can always be fun and get, good information.
So we know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
The biker gang.
There's lots of room for shenanigans if we mess up.
Yeah. Yeah, doing that.
I'm just not sure what that's going to get us.
Well, I mean, what's one of the
I
points?
mean, if Edmund shows up, we can follow him somewhere.
But that was the whole point of doing the voodoo stuff first, is because we didn't know what we were tangling with.
But we don't have to confront him unless we fail.
But you can gather more information on him, on what might have happened. There's a lot of holes that you don't have filled in. And you also have to look at like a time frame. If you're going to all of these shops, which could be hundreds across New Orleans, it might be the 100th shop that you run into before you figure any information out about him. And so you could just spend a ton of time trying to trace that down, where you might be able to gather more information to kind of narrow your search, even if you don't confront or like talk to him, just gathering information still.
So you want to like
Well,
tail
we can just like set up in an abandoned building near theirs and like watch them with binoculars through the windows and see if anything strange is happening.
Straight up police, like detective bit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I think knowing all of that, right? We're kind of, as far as the stuff we have to make a scene, because I don't know how to necessarily just roll to say, hey, we found the shop, right?
Yeah. We could
Like,
do
unless
it.
you're going to allow us to do
simple
that,
as,
like, we don't have any other way.
Yeah. So like the way that would work is like I would determine how many days or what kind of successes it would take, but that's going to take a lot longer potentially, with a lot potential of just wasting your time, potential days, weeks even, before you gain any useful information, especially because something that I don't think has occurred to a lot of people yet is working during the nighttime. Most businesses aren't open for very long.
that's fair. I didn't think about that.
And these are all things like, again, as a DM, that had just occurred to me in that moment. So that makes that search even harder. Is if you've only got like 3 hours before most shops close, unless you want to start breaking into shops, which is a valid option, and just going through their receipts and like trying to go through video camera footage and stuff. That's not very efficient.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, while Velatine is still outside talking to O'Malley, Augustine looks to Aiden, having recognized that this is probably not going to let him be alone with Kara.
Not yet.
Not yet. Aiden, since you seem to want everyone to be in one place, since I think you do so like to play out your serial dramas in real life, what about you stay here? We wear your beautiful outfits that you so kindly gave to us
He
on
peeks
our
up
previous
at
adventure. And we go and perhaps bring O'Malley and go to a biker bar and go see what information that might hold. That way we're all together. If anything happens, it's easy enough to get away, easy enough to call it just a normal bar brawl. And that
So
way
you're
there are
wanting-
other people to
you wanted to
defend.
go to a bar because they were located at a butcher shop.
Oh, the butcher shop? I thought we were
Yeah.
talking about the bar that they frequented.
The bar that they frequented, y'all don't really know what bar they frequent. You know that they're based out of a butcher
Oh,
shop.
butcher shop. Okay, my apologies.
Yeah, no, you're fine. That's why I was just clarifying.
Go to the butcher shop. We can go there. We're all together.
Mhm.
Probably closed. If anything happens, we mask blood with the blood of an animal. It's easy. It's tidy. Everyone's together. You can have your fun. We can come back looking pretty. How does
Aiden
that
kind
sound?
of nods. I think that has some legs to walk with. But you're starting to get in some dangerous waters. Do any of you have any kind of weapons? Because this sounds like it might get a little. It has the potential for ugliness.
No.
I don't typically carry anything on me. Kara just confirmed she doesn't have any sort of arms on her person. Lamont?
Lamont shakes his head and goes, "No, I don't carry heat on me. It tends to draw more attention than I like to."
Aiden stands up from his chair and draws a rather large pistol out the back of his pants and sets it on the table. Well, then maybe one of you should take this.
Wow.
I don't know how to shoot a gun.
We'll take
Okay, Aiden has 0 firearms as well. So this gun is like 100% chromed out.
Oh God.
Like we're talking like diamond studded grip for just like aesthetic. Thing could like reflect a spotlight.
Do you have anything more subtle?
Well, you don't think this is subtle, Kara? I think this is perfect. We could do a lot of good things with this.
What's
I
wrong
also
with my
don't know how to
gun?
shoot a gun.
Oh, don't
Look-
worry. Leave that to me.
What kind of weapons hurt vampires anyway?
Not guns. Fun fact.
Augustine is just going to grab it and kind of...
Okay.
Thank you, Aiden. I appreciate your concern for our safety.
Belathine
nods.
told me wooden stakes. Is that true?
Yes, if you stake a vampire in the heart, it will stun them. That'll send them into a state of torpor where they'll. Why am I telling you this? Belathine! You hear the call.
What is she talking to O'Malley about?
O'Malley is just letting her know that, like, he's probably informing her that, the best bet is to probably, like, stick together as a group until, like, allegiances can be confirmed. Essentially saying he doesn't fucking trust the Maquette because the Maquette hasn't proven himself yet.
Despite like whatever he's saying, Like Belle, when she hears her name and it's Aiden calling, like she kind of perks up and turns, and she kind of gives him a knowing look and just leaves.
Okay. So she
comes
walks in the
back.
door.
Yeah.
He
She walks right up
hollers
to him.
as she's walking by. Did you teach the humans that they could stake us?
She blinks at him several times. Teach them?
Yes. Did you explain to them that staking vampires isn't just a myth? That's what I would have told them, so they didn't think. I mean, and then he catches himself in realizing that what he said was just pretty shitty. That he was going to lie to the humans about. And he turns. Yes, yes, stakes work.
I explained that staking was not the way that human mythos portrayed it, that it is a means of incapacitation rather than a means of murder.
She did say that I wouldn't be able to do it because I'm not strong enough. That makes you feel better.
That does make me feel a bit better. Belathine has a good judge of character.
Yeah, Belle's like, why are you upset again? She's just kind of like glancing back and forth between them.
There was a moment of worry, Belathine, that they might decide to stake us, but that's just fear. I apologize. That was nothing you need to worry about. It was more just concern. I think that the way you expressed it was perfect.
She outright laughs. Like, the thought of as much was the cutest thing. You really suspect that to be the case. I'm sure that our guests realize exactly what lays beyond that door's threshold without our protection. And she looks knowingly, and perhaps a little too long, at each human.
Lamont gets up, puts a cigarette in his mouth, and goes, I love being threatened in the morning. Goes out to have a smoke.
So you walk out where O'Malley is having a smoke.
Yeah.
He's just leaned up against a wall, nods to you, off, kind of like pats the wall next to him.
I go and sit next to him and light up.
There are a bunch of crazies in there. I apologize that you're stuck in such a situation. It's not great for anybody.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Not much to be done about it, I suppose. Might as well lean into it. So how did you get stuck with these people?
Oh, that's a long story. They saved me from a situation that was going to be worse than death itself. I didn't used to be this upstanding citizen that I am today. He kind of pulls away a shirt, part of his shirt, and shows you an IRA tattoo that is very, very old.
Ah. I see.
And then just kind of goes back and just like leaves that.
Lamont wouldn't know what that is.
Lamont doesn't know what that is. but he goes, I see. And then like just assumes it's some sort of gang thing that he from out of town, so out of town he doesn't know. But then he says, "Fate worse than death, man. That's some heavy shit."
They're good people here, though, even though they're a bit off their rocker on occasion, not down to earth the way I think they should be sometimes. A little hoity-toity, but they're good people. They'll look after you. Just make sure to watch yourself around them. They can both be a little high-strung, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not the smartest person around, but I can at least pick up on that. He coughs a little bit, takes another drag of his cigarette, and says, "I don't know about all this running around looking for these people. What do you make of it? I don't."
Well, we've been tasked with a problem, and we are tasked to be the solution. And there are certain people within the organization that Aiden and Bell run with that you just don't say no to. a little bit too powerful, reach a little bit too far. So sometimes you just have to suck it up, Buttercup, and do the job.
So what? They got themselves some sort of consignment?
Yeah, essentially, vampires work in a very interesting hierarchical way. You've got vampires above you, and if they're above you, they can tell you what to do to an extent. Me, I'm not with that group, and I tell all of them to fucking suck air. But there could be worse people to work for than Aiden and Bell. I'll tell you that. They warm up eventually. Artois seems to be doing pretty good for himself.
Fair enough. Did they ever stop threatening to eat you?
They just try to instill a little bit of understanding that they are above you in the food chain.
Yeah, no, I got that the first time,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Make yourself useful, and you'll find this quite the lucrative position.
His ears kind of perk up with that, and like, oh, lucrative. How so?
Aiden is what we like to call stupid rich. It's specifically stupid rich because he's not that great with where his money goes. He's just got a lot of it.
Huh.
And so those that are good to him, he's good to as well, even if he is a bit fucking insane. Belathine has her moments, and he smiles at that. Go ahead.
Lamont chuckles and says, "All right, well, you seem to have a pretty good grasp on everything that's going on around here. I'd like to make myself useful. If you have any uses for me," takes a big drag. Just let me know.
I
And then
think
he,
I can
starts
come up
to
with
walk
a
back.
couple things. And he nods as he walks off. All right,
Yeah, bonding.
got to create those bonds in character.
No,
Yes.
it's important. It's very important.
Mhm.
Thank you for taking the time, Stephen.
Absolutely.
So what Bell missed was Aiden gave Augustine a gun.
Or he tried to give it to anybody.
Yeah.
Augustine's the only one who was willing to take it because it's a gaudy, ugly thing.
So she is witness to this,
No,
or she
it
came
happened I
in
think
and
right
Augustine
before.
has a gun.
Augustine already pocketed it, or like
Okay.
put it in somewhere. Back pants, kind of like tucked it in behind his pants and covered it with his shirt.
Is anyone gonna tell her that he's armed?
Augustine's isn't.
I've got a picture. Hold up.
Oh no.
Oh god, this is just fantastic. See if that link works.
It's so terrible.
Oh, that's great. That's perfect.
Wow.
Belathine, I think there might have been a change of plans.
She perks a single well-shaped brow.
Your lover, the gorgeous
She
Aiden.
corrects him very quickly by displaying her left hand. She is actually wearing a wedding ring. Like it is a thing.
Your husband has decided that I am untrustworthy to be alone with Kara, feeling that you might share. Either way, it seems that it has been decided to travel as a group to the butcher's shop, where the Wolf's Head Riders call their base of operations to see what information we can gather. As disappointed as I am, I think it could be lucrative, and I am of the mind to do that if you are also willing to spend another evening in my company.
She can't help but smirk just a little bit at that. And the injury that Augustine has taken. Is there a particular reason why we are going to consult with a den full of wolves when we could quite easily glean information by refraining from that potentially fatal interaction. We don't have the amount of information to associate with them without coming potentially under fire ourselves. I am not equipped to deal with this situation as I did the last. Humans are very easy to dupe in such a manner, but dogs don't possess the same capacity for emotional manipulation, if you catch my drift.
You don't have to talk to them. Do you own a pair of binoculars?
She kind of wrinkles her nose. Why would I own a pair of binoculars?
So you can watch them from a distance?
Aiden, perhaps you have a spyglass we could borrow. A
Oh my
collector of such
goodness.
fine ancient artifacts. I'm sure you've got one lying around somewhere in the room.
Fine dwarven craft straight from Orzammar.
Aiden kind of looks across the table. Well, not one that I would be willing to take out of its case, that's for sure. It's quite expensive. However, if you're willing to put a deposit down on it, I might be willing to lend it to you.
Ooh, what sort of deposit are we talking about, Aiden?
Oh, I think last I checked it was worth around $30,000, so a deposit of, let's say,
Does
$15,000.
money really matter to you so much? How about a kiss? Would that be enough?
I didn't realize that kids...
Emalynde fucking just whips her head around. Oh my god, I need to like appropriately roll for this. Give me a hot second. There is a legitimate, like, especially because this is his second infraction.
Aw.
She twitches. Now they have some stuff going on that I have to like remember how that dynamic works
What dynamic? Between...
between Belle and Aiden.
Okay.
How soon was the last one?
Last what?
Renewal.
Let's roll it.
Because there's some stuff that we have going on with characters that the party doesn't know about yet.
It's about halfway through the last time.
Okay, that's not that bad.
No. So she's pretty, like, middle of the road, not very, like, hyper possessive.
Not hyper, but still possessive. She bristles like you told her that you're gonna like slap her puppy or something.
Imagine this, Aiden, living out the drama that I mentioned that you so like to play out with your playthings, I should say. Kara, lovely as she is, atop a building, spyglass in hand, staking out a den of sin. What a beautiful scene that would be. Just imagine it.
Give me a manipulation and persuasion roll because you're starting to work on him.
Nice.
He starts, like,
5 dice.
rubbing his chin and thinking about, like, now that's an aesthetic.
Oh, fuck me. Nothing.
Nothing. He thinks about it for a moment.
That's fine.
While I appreciate that would be quite the striking painting, it's still far too expensive of an item. If you need to, you can expense some equipment. I know there are local shops that sell
I'm sure
things.
we could. I'm sure we could. It was just such a beautiful image. I thought I might just ask. It's always worth asking. The worst someone can say is no.
Bellathy narrows her gaze as if to indicate that no, that was not the worst thing that could happen to him for asking.
I'll take you up on that kiss later, Aiden. And he looks at Bellathy.
Just like poking the bear, aren't you?
Oh boy, you know I love to poke that bear.
I hope you see that one.
Wait, what was that dread laugh?
That was what happens when you fumble.
Oh, dang.
She gets up out of her chair, busts a point of Vitate to rip him up out of his
Oh shit.
by the throat. Now let me know if I need to like roll contest for any of this.
I think so. You're gonna bust the vitae to like move forward and like quickly towards him.
To use celerity to bust forward, and then I don't think that she needs to use it for the strength because
No,
vampire
not for the
is
strength,
pretty.
but for the celerity to bust forward. I
Yeah.
don't know if Augustine knew she was going to move so fast. No, I don't think I'm not gonna have. Like,
Is Lamont here
Yes.
Lamont
at this
probably
point? Okay. Lamont is going to vacate the premise as soon as he can.
So,
Like,
dude, I feel like this would have been like right as he walked back through the door.
Like,
Yeah, right.
opens up the door, sees what happens, just closes it, goes back to have another cigarette.
Yeah.
So she has
Okay.
him right underneath the jawline.
Mhm.
And I know we were talking about this at dinner last night. She has those pointed filed nails.
Oh, good. Yeah,
And
yeah.
she digs them in. Now, they're clearly not going to really do any damage because
Sure.
lethal damage even doesn't really do anything to a vampire.
Mhm.
But that's not the point. So she digs her nails in and she's holding him very close to her face. You will stop this, or I will make sure that you stop this. And she just kind of tosses him, kind of lets him down. It's not a throw, but she doesn't want him to crumple at her feet because that might be easier for him to stand up or to fall back into his chair. It's enough to where it might knock somebody who's not as skilled, perhaps as a vampire, off their balance. But he'll probably likely land on his feet anyways. And she just immediately like spins on her heel, very elegantly walks back, and sits primly in her chair as if nothing had happened.
Aiden just kind of watches, looks at Belle sit back down. He's waving his hand,
Fanning himself?
fanning himself. From me? Oh, I'm touched.
She kind of cuts him a glaze like cuts him a gaze like don't fuck around. But that expression smooths afterwards.
I think the whole time Augustine doesn't say anything, definitely, but still is smirking just the entire moment that's happened.
Has now found the line.
Yeah. I think there's a moment that Augustine sees that there's like a slight moment, right, in that quick moment where she picks him up. There's definitely, I think, a recognition of like, oh, whoop. And then after that, it just goes back to normal, right? So I think, but Augustine does recognize that, so I'll definitely, for sure, admit to that, right? It's not unfazed entirely.
Mhm.
Definitely a nerve. Well, if that's done, are we all set to go?
Kara finishes up the eggs Benedict. I guess.
Mistress, what do you say?
Oh, is that indicated at Belle?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what were they even talking about?
Going on the stakeout.
Yeah.
She doesn't know about the gun though, still, right?
No.
No.
Oh no.
If it ever gets drawn, she's gonna look at it and go, I told him not to buy that one.
That's the only benefit here, is as soon as somebody pulls it out, she's like, what the fucking Aiden, god damn it. Okay, so they're gonna go on the stakeout. How do you propose we even get there? Where are we going to even stand for this preposterous amount of time? Like, it might not even be impenetrable by the sunlight. Has anyone stopped to think any of this through? She's clearly a little...
Frazzled.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I was just in it for the ride. Mostly. Always better to see if we can get more information. Right?
I mean, Lamont and I don't need to worry about the sunlight, right?
Correct.
She
So...
kind of... That anger lessens a little as she turns to Kara. Kara. God damn it, I can't remember which one it is.
Kara.
Kara. Okay, I'm
Care
so
for
sorry.
Kara.
I'll get it right eventually.
Kara is in your care.
Thank you for the
That's good.
mnemonic. While sunlight may not affect you, if an area is not perfectly secure, the consequences could be rather dire.
We don't have to stay during the daytime, do we?
No, we can just go for a few hours, drive by. There's a good
Yeah.
building. We can sit for a bit, see who comes in, who comes out. Anything interesting happening?
The group we're
Perhaps we might
watching
see
is
Edmund.
also vampires. Most of their activity should be at night.
Kara makes a good point. A group of gangrel operating from their headquarters would most likely be relatively active.
All those little chirpy chirps.
Yeah, I know. They're so loud. They're downstairs too. Just
Oh, are they really?
Wow.
yeah, they're not even in the next room.
Oh, it sounds like they are.
Yeah, right. No, it definitely does. But no, they're just
Oh.
downstairs. Mm-hmm.
I think Bella thing will relent, but she seems not comfortable with the plan as is, but she'll go along with it because she trusts in herself to fix it up if it goes bad. Are you coming with us or are you staying? She looks at Aiden.
Oh, I could not possibly be seen that far. I could possibly not be gone for that long. But I appreciate the invitation.
She looks at him and just blinks several times.
Well, you wished for a meeting with the Invictus, so I'm going to do my best to try on that means to get us something, to get us somewhere with that. Now, if I finish up my duties before the end of the evening, I will come find you. How does that sound? And he just kind of smiles. It's a genuine smile. It is not a, like, he's being a snarky little bitch smile.
As long as you can remain safe, don't give Invictus any reason to dig around more than they need to.
Of course not. This is my game, love. Trust.
And she actually, lets him have that and doesn't argue. Now, is everyone ready to leave, or must you gather any necessary instruments with which to watch this pack of dogs?
I think we'll need to go to the store.
I think some binoculars, perhaps. Ooh, Kara, wouldn't that be nice if you got some night vision goggles? Aiden paints a pretty picture. No spyglass, but covert operations.
Ooh,
Where
and
can we buy night vision goggles?
I bet that you have a particular party member that knows where to buy illicit and illegal goods or underground goods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem is there's nothing illicit about night vision goggles.
Well, but they're not always stocked, and you might not want a trail.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, Lamont, do you know where we can buy night vision goggles?
I mean, yeah, but
So
they're
this is
weird.
where Lamont needs to make a choice of: are you going to use underground contacts to go and buy, take them to the local underground store, or are you just going to go to like a sports store where they sell camping equipment?
I'm gonna go to a sports store where they sell camping equipment, but I'm definitely gonna sell it like it's super weird, and I don't understand these people at all. Because I'm gonna take them to like an upscale store, like a sports store, because that's where you'd have to go, right?
Yeah, probably.
And
Yep.
that's not the type of people I'm used to hanging around.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
yeah, but they're weird. I don't know if you really want to go there.
Is everyone putting on their overt gear?
Their crime sweaters.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting on my crime sweater for sure.
I'd like to ask a question about mine. How outlandish is this outfit? Like,
Because there were two. There was one that was like the Middle Ages medieval thief gear, and it was it looks like shit from Skyrim. And then there's like your actual like turtleneck and pants. And
see, I was under the impression that they were both like D&D style rogue outfits.
Are they both, or am I mistaken?
Hers was definitely a like ostentatious, ridiculous looking, like probably would be found in a BDSM club easily, and then you just add things onto it. It is
Kara's?
not, yeah, it is not useful at all.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna wear normal ass street clothes.
Good lord.
Aiden's a hot mess.
The boys got crime sweaters.
So
Yeah.
she probably would have also gotten just like the normal crime sweater outfit as well.
I love that there's like a term for
Yeah.
Y'all are not required to wear these. They do not give you any benefits whatsoever.
it's the morale boost.
Yeah.
The camaraderie, the solidarity. Although Belle
Same-
is not wearing hers.
The same reason that me and Steven are running around on our gnome hunters in the same exact outfit.
Yes.
Oh, Stephen Merlin told me about how he was propositioning people with the gnomes.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
What?
Merlin, why are you like this?
Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to sell ERP for gold.
Yeah, man.
You're not
Um,
charging enough.
Can we fast track the purchasing of goods? Do you need
Yes.
somebody to roll? Okay.
Now that's pretty straightforward. I'm not worried too much about money right now. I don't like to take that into equation at this moment. That may change in the future depending on where the story goes.
Sure.
But right now, you have a patron that enough points have been put into that he kind of covers these like extraneous expenses. If you wanted to go and buy like a armored vehicle, or you wanted to like buy a big ass truck and like
Sure.
get it armored, that would be a different story.
Yeah, yeah.
But like binoculars and things like that you could just buy at a hunting store.
Well,
Not a
Belle could
big
probably
issue.
buy the goggles if we really need them, because the way that resources works, and she has a point in resources, is it allows you to buy things outside of your like normal spending limit. So like if you have like a normal job and things you would normally buy, like you account with resources for the things that aren't typically in your budget. So like yeah, stuff at the sporting goods wouldn't be a big deal. But if for instance the night vision goggles are like $300,
That's what I'm looking up right now,
they would
actually.
probably need her to buy them. Was that me yell?
Yeah, I think that must have been. I didn't see her mouth move, but I think she's hungry.
Because none of mine are over here. Well,
Streeple's right next to you.
Under my feet.
No, she's just hungry.
I feel that. Ours are always hungry.
All right, so how many resources do you have? So let's do equipment the proper way, because there's actually a mechanic for this.
Okay.
So we've got. Where's the? I linked an equipment PDF into chat at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a surveillance equipment.
Yeah, and then there's night vision goggles. So the availability requires 2 dots. The way this works is, if we go back up, availability has a specific rule set that's kind of interesting. That again, I think Steven's character will be very useful. Availability. The cost in resources dots or level of social merit needed to acquire the weapon. So the way they explained this was, if an item has a resource cost of 2, you can utilize a social skill that you might have to obtain it in a certain way. Whether that is buying it outright, knowing people that might get it for you, would like reduce the cost. And then there is also just straight up larceny and stealing it. Because it does appear that night vision is going to be a little bit out of Bellathene's resources.
So the way that works is because it's 2 dots, which is 1 dot more than she has. What she can do is she can take 2 months worth of basically like her allowance is kind of how it works. And so she can buy it now, but she can't utilize her resource for next month. So she could still outright buy it if we have a hard time. Like Steven should be able to get it no problem. But that's how that system works.
Okay.
Availability and procurement. The dot cost of a piece of equipment reflects directly on the resource's cost if your character wishes to purchase it, or the cost of its components for some things. It also reflects the level of allies or other social merit required to find them, and the skill level required to procure it with a single dice roll. For example, if a party invitation has a cost of 3, a character with larceny 2 should not be able to find and steal the item without a dice roll. but a character with politics 4 might be able to get one by virtue of saying the right words to the right organization. If your character wishes to obtain higher availability items with their skills, it requires a deeper effort. So, like with that is, with a larceny 2 on a cost item of 3, you would have to make a roll to steal it. If you had a larceny 4, you would be able to just steal it without a roll and acquire it. So how would you like, is that a piece of equipment that you are looking for?
I mean, Augustine seemed pretty set on it. I'd be happy with binoculars, which we can just buy.
Yeah.
If you have larceny more than 2 dots, you can just
Yeah.
straight out steal it without making a roll.
Well, I have larceny 5 dots,
Perfect.
so I can just go. I can just yeah. I'll go get them.
Perfect. Easy peasy.
Larceny. It's a fun skill.
It's definitely handy. Also, I really love that you're getting buddy with O'Malley. That helps flesh out like a lot of the story. It seems like a reasonable course of action for your character. I'm liking
Yeah.
it.
Like I said, he seems like the kind of guy that I would have dealt with before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. The story of them saving him is.
So are we just gonna buy the night vision goggles?
Steven's gonna
no,
steal
I'm just
them.
gonna steal
You're
them.
gonna steal them? Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
He has
'cause-
larceny 5 dots.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's
so
very
I can just procure most things for you guys.
That's wonderful.
Thank you for not making me spend my resources for the next.
All right.
ones.
So,
Great.
Steven
Yeah.
wants
I
steals cost 2. Okay. So you have a pair of night vision goggles.
woohoo!
Sick.
Who wants 'em?
So, and then we got that on the way to this butcher shop, right?
Yes. Now,
Great.
also keep in mind that the equipment section of the book
Mhm.
does have a lot of really good stuff to look over at some point if y'all ever want boosts or benefits that these items provide. We can work at getting them.
Yeah.
Because they offer a lot of really cool stuff. They are not just fluff items.
How many night vision goggles can we take?
So that store is going to have 1. If you want to get more than 1, you will have to spend more time.
Okay, no worries. I just wanted to ask in case.
I think the single one is fine for now.
Do vampires even need such things?
We do not have night vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they still have a harder time seeing in low light.
Yeah, like we see better than humans do, but it's not like dark vision for elves or anything.
Yeah. Okay, so we left the scene or left the club, got night vision goggles, and now we are on the way and/or at the butcher shop, just driving
So we're
by
gonna
it.
case the buildings around it
Yeah.
and see if there's a good place to set up.
Yeah.
All right. So
That's a Lamont job.
Yeah.
yeah, finding a place to set up is going to be a subterfuge and intelligence roll.
All right.
So you get in the car, you head off in that direction. Let's see what kind of role and what kind of information this is going to give you.
Okay. So subterfuge and subterfuge and intelligence. Let's see, I believe I have 3 in subterfuge and 3 in intelligence. So 6d10. 6d10. Oh. 0 successes and 0 fails.
Okay, so like basics of this is don't drive past the place directly. So you park. And you notice that the area's real run down. You find a garage that you're able to, a parking garage that you're able to park on the top of. and then you make your way back down, and this entire area is just flooded with people. Sitting around, you see some bonfires lit in trash cans. You see people smoking, passed out in corners, clumped together, tents set up in different areas. This is kind of the feel here. All of the shops have either been boarded up or windows have been broken down. Water damage is rampant. The streets have massive potholes in them that haven't been fixed. You make your way around to the street where the butcher shop is, and you can kind of hear the canal and the water moving. And you notice that it seems to be one of the only few, there might be 3 or 4 buildings down this road that you can see that haven't been boarded up and shut down. Directly across the street, which looks like as good a place as any for you, is a rundown 3-story building. It looks like it used to be like a apartment building. And so you think that, why not stake out at the top of the apartment building? It's as good a place as any.
Yeah, we get to urban explore.
You get to urban explore.
Yeah.
So-
Also, Bella's not wearing her crime sweater.
She's not wearing her like dominatrix outfit that she was given, or
She's already worn that once.
right?
It's done.
So she's sold
That's
it now.
No, it goes in the huge closet that they have.
That's wasteful.
Very. I never said that she was like, a good person. Well, it's not a person, but
Whoa,
She's being-
vampires are people too.
she's
Are
undead.
they?
She is wearing high-waisted leather leggings and like an off-shoulder crop top. She is refusing to dress for the occasion. It's all in black, but she has stilettos on,
It's very good.
and she looks like Bellathine.
We're gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
Exactly.
Yeah, we sure
I
are.
want to stress this because I have to I don't want her to be some perfect get along with everybody character because
We
wow,
probably
that's-
already stick out though with like the car that we're driving, right?
That's what I was also thinking about. What are we doing? Because we've got that obnoxious Range Rover or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Park it and leave it behind.
Yeah,
We're
park
like
it at
walking on the street.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Presumably
parked it-
not in a group of 5 because that would be stupid. Or how many
So
of us
how-
are there? 4?
Yeah.
So Bellathine's gonna stay with Kara
Okay.
because she doesn't trust Augustine.
It's the theme of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, so she would tell Augustine that he's going to walk around with Lamont and that she's going to stay with Kara. It's not a subject for debate given the way that she phrases it and the tone of voice utilized.